what's going on in Syria today. We have five killed today in Syria, in the city of Aleppo. Clashes between the Syrian Democratic Forces and the new government in Damascus. So we're gonna talk about that one, and we're gonna talk about the negotiation between the Israelis and the Syrian. I believe it was in France, and we're gonna see the picture, spaceship of King Anu, and we're gonna talk about other stuff. So let's begin. So here you see where I usually look. This is this webcam. This is the Switzerland. You see here. This is where I usually look to capture spaceship of King Anu. And of course, I made some live videos before. When I mean live, when I write live, I mean we were watching together and we capture something together. And yeah, I have a lot of pictures, so we're not gonna do that because if we see anything flying, we will not recognize what it is because it goes so fast, and we will not see the details. So I prefer always taking a print screen, and the one we have taken print screen, print image screen, like you take the picture and then you see it, you enlarge, you can see it, you can see what has been in the sky. This is how we know. So the first time I did that, it was at night, and I saw the different lights and the way it moved. That was 3 years, 3 years, and 3.5 years. So let's begin reading what's happened today in Syria. Unfortunately, we still have clashes in Syria. So five killed in clashes between Syria government, Kurdish forces in Aleppo. So let's read this one. Damascus clashes between government personnel and Kurdish-led forces in the northern city of Aleppo killed at least 5 people on Tuesday, January 6, with both sides trading blame over who started the fighting. Progress has stalled on implementing a March deal to merge the Kurds' semi-autonomous administration and military into Syria's new government, and tensions have occasionally erupted into clashes, particularly in Aleppo, which has two Kurdish majority neighborhoods. State news agency reported that the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces has targeted the area near the Shihan route. So three civilians, including two, were killed. And so, of course, now we know that we know that let's see. Clashes between government personnel and Kurdish-led forces in the northern Syrian city of Aleppo killed 4 people on Tuesday, with both sides trading blame over who started the fighting. So, what's the problem in Syria? We know that the word Syria. So let's watch the. So this knowledge, I dare to say, not many people they know about the knowledge about the word Syria, the connection to Christianity. They don't know what uh, Syria for Christianity, for Christian people around the world. They don't know that. Last time we were watching these pictures, it was 31st of last year. 31st of last year. This is here. I believe here it was. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about this stuff. Let's See, I was showing this stuff last time I made a video. Uh, they had a meeting between the Israelis. Gonna read about this one also. I think this is important because it is why the reason actually I believe why they have clashes in Syria today, because there was a meeting between Syria, the new government, Syria and Israel, and they said it was positive meeting, meaning they have agreed on how they're gonna proceed with security and other issues. And of course, like if you watch not my previous video or my previous video actually, I was talking about how they're gonna divide the area or like rule the area. Divide maybe a harsh word. So all these meetings because we're talking about what's happening in the world, like the whole all nations are like uh, taking steps to secure resources. We're talking about this one. So this is Jerusalem Post, Israeli news. Israel, Syria, and U.S. establish intelligence sharing mechanism, agree on civilian cooperation. We have also Israel bombing Lebanon today. Furthermore, it was agreed to begin talks between Jerusalem and Damascus in civilian areas, including medicine, energy, agriculture. So we really want to know about the border between these two countries. This is Israeli Prime Minister. He will most probably keep Golan Heights. These were Syrian areas occupied in the war 1967. This is the new Syrian president. He he was not seen lately. He was seen yesterday, I believe. He went out just to. There were rumors. I made a video 31 last day last year, and there was a news article about some kind of shoot fire shooting in the near the palace, and a lot of people they said that this guy is missing. So he went out yesterday to deny that he was injured because some people they claimed he was injured and stuff like that. And took from 30 the accident in the supposed accident in the presidential palace or nearby. Not very sure about this one. About shooting happened 2 days before New Year's Eve. So 30 December, there was rumors uh, that something happened in the palace. But then he appeared yesterday. He was shopping like a regular. Uh, yeah, like any other Syrian citizen. He went to the shops and buy something, and yeah. So this is the evidence he is not injured. So it was rumors, and they said there is struggle between the Western wing in his government and the Turkish wing. So because he is very pro-West now, he was like anti-West. These were they called the infidels, the kuffar, the against Islam, like Jews, Christians, and even the minorities like Kurds, Alawite, Shia, Druze, you name it. These guys they were against these guys, the minorities and the like Western countries, Christian countries, Jews. But when he took over the regime in Syria, he He became more like Western, pro-West. Met President Trump, cut his beard. Now he's wearing like this Western kind of clothes. Before he had this Islamic clothing, and yeah. So, but we have Turkish, like a lot of Turkey. They like. This dreams, Osman Empire, the Caliphate, Turkey, they had all this area, before. So this all area before Israel was established. All this area belonged to Turkey. So some Turks, I believe, they want this area back, and they have a lot of influence on Ahmad al-Shara, the new Syria president. They want him to keep uh, this kind of political like ideology to try to help Turkey to establish some kind of kingdom in the Middle East. But they need to deal with Israel as well. So he is divided between to be Western, like pro-West, and pro-Turkey. So Turkey is holding one hand here and dragging him to the right hand side of yours, and Israel is pulling at the other hand, dragging him to the left side of yours. So he will be divided, not him, but actually Syria. So Syria will be divided according to my analysis. So the whole, this you see, Damascus, this is Lebanon. This area will be belonging to Israel here. So all this area will belong to Israel. We know that Egypt and Amman, Jordan, we have peace with Israel. So the um, relationship with Israel, but Syria, they don't have official relationships with with Syria and Lebanon. Although Syria with President Ahmad al-Shar have been active to try to bring forth some kind of a deal. So they want Israel to be friends with Syria, and President Trump is pushing for that one. So President Trump is pushing Prime Minister Netanyahu to make agreement with Syria so they can agree. But maybe Turkey, they want also to have something from the Syrian cake. So they are trying to give this part to Israel, Golan Heights. We have a lot of mountains here, very strategic mountains. They want to give this area to Israel, and Israel in return will, yeah, make like some help with agriculture and stuff like that. But Turkey want the, this northern area because they have already a lot of influence on the Sunni Arab living in these areas because of the 400 years they've been in the whole area. But they have a lot of like people who support Turkey in these areas. And in Aleppo, where we have fight today, I believe President Erdogan, he said something about Aleppo being like it would have be something with like Turkish ties. I don't really know what he said, but yeah, and even President Trump is welcoming this move by President Erdogan to help this guy to take over. He went from here to here, all this area he took, but not here, the area where the Kurds are. The Kurds are not Arab people, and we go back to what I was talking about. The word Syria actually from Syriac. Syriac, you see here, Syrian desert. That's why I talk about Greater Syria. The people, this is Iraq. Also, it's called Syrian desert. All this area was called Greater Syria or the Felt the crescent, the Fertile Crescent, and even it's called Greater Israel. He wants all, Prime Minister Netanyahu, he said many times he wants all this area. So Greater Syria is where the word from the Assyrian and Syriac. Syriac are not Arabs. The Kurds are not Arab. What this country is called is insult to the Syrian non-Arabic groups like the Kurds and the Christians. We know that there is Greek Christians living in Lebanon. They are called Greek Christians. They talk Arabic, but actually a lot of Maronites who are like the president of Lebanon, who is Maronite, like Catholics. These guys are actually Syriac. Syriac from Syria. They went from Syria, lived in Lebanon in the mountains, and they kept some kind of like province in the mountains when the Turks were ruling in 400 years. They paid money and to the Turks, and they kept the religion, you know. But a lot of people like Syriac people, they changed the language. They talked Aramaic, like Jesus Christ, he talked Aramaic. There's a village, Muslim village in Syria. They talk Aramaic in South Syria. Malula, I believe it's called. So a lot of Syriac and people are not Arabs. They are like you know the word Syria from Assyria, and these guys they were before Jesus Christ, like the kingdom of Ashur. Talked about Ashur, it came after Babylon, and these guys they were not Arabs. Babylonia and Sumeria, these guys were not Arabs. They were ruling here. So Syriac is the origin word of Syria. So then when you say, when this guy, he says, this country is called the Syrian Arab Republic, this is insult for a lot of Syrian groups living here, like the Kurds, the Christians, and like the Yazidi, and like all these groups, um, Assyrians, Syriac, Kurds, so these guys are not Arabs. So when you have a country calling itself Arabic, that means you are excluding these minorities. So this is about racial differences. This is about ethnic and racial differences because they are not uh, recognizing the Kurds as part of Syria. That's why the Kurds they want to have some kind of province and understand they need to do the fix the mistakes that former President Assad, like it was called the Syrian Arab. So Syria, I don't know, but Syria, like it is connected to the word Syriac, and the Syriac is connected. Syriac, you know, the language that came after the Aramaic, and the Aramaic is connected to Jesus Christ. So Syriac uh, language uh, was um, all this area was Syriac. So the whole area was not Arabic. You understand? Then came Islam and spread, and a lot of Turks. There were a lot of massacres between Turkey and the Syriac people and the Assyrian. There's a lot of Assyrian people still living. So a lot of massacre. Armenian also. So this is some kind of uh, problem between Christianity here in the East, Greek, you know, Greek, uh, Greece and Turkey. So a lot of Greece, um, Greek population, like they have something to do with the Greek because Turkey was Byzantium, and Byzantium was the church, and the church was divided between Catholics and Orthodox for 1,000 years ago. And this is when the Turks uh, got their empire gradually, and they went to the area here. But after the Arabs went here, the Turks they came, and then when the Turkey lost in World War I, the British and the France they divided the area here. So, but the whole area was one. But it was like it was before the Turks and the Muslim. It was one and the same country, and the whole area was Christianity. Like they had religion Christianity. So a lot of Christians they were not Arabs but became Arabs. They replaced their original language with Arabic and even religion from Christianity to Islam. But like some people here in Lebanon, and they kept the religion, and even in Syria and even in Iraq. But lately, the late decade, the ISIS emerged, and this is the founder of ISIS in Syria. These guys they emerged. A lot of Christians escaped from Iraq. A lot of Christians living in Iraq, and now this is happening in Syria. They have conducted war against the Alawites living here in the coastline. A lot of Alawites, thousands were slaughtered, and against the Druze, these are Arab community, also living in Israel. They went, Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu, he went and defended them when uh, forces of Ahmad al-Shara, Junani, they went to slaughter. After they slaughtered a lot of Alawites, they were going to slaughter the Druze, and this guy interfered and bombed the troops of Ahmad al-Shara. So they stopped the massacre. And now we have the Kurds here, and the Kurds are not Arabs, and they say, this guy, they say, this is an Arabic country. So they say it like this. And we don't like non-Arabs. So Christians, a lot of people, they don't consider them as Arabs, although they speak Arabic, and some of them, they still speak Syriac and other languages like Assyrian and stuff like that. So let's read. So Israel, Syria, and the United States agreed to establish a joint fusion mechanism to serve as communication cell for intelligence sharing, military escalation, diplomatic engagement, and commercial issues. According to Tuesday's statement, the announcement came after following a round of meeting between senior Israeli and Syrian officials in Paris, clarified the U.S. supervised mechanism. So they're gonna cooperate with the agriculture, medicine. So it sounds very nice, actually, to have peace between the two countries, but they are not trying to talk about the border because, like I said, this area will be belonging to Israel because Prime Minister Netanyahu he believes all this area should belong to Israel, and even President Trump he said Israel is too tiny; they need to expand. So, and I don't think this guy he has any problem with that. And the only problem he has, like, he is collecting support, international support, but he is focusing on the Kurds, the Alawite, the Druze, and even Lebanon. He's talking about a lot of Lebanon. It's a lot of Lebanon people. They supported. They have a lot of people who supported Assad escaped to Lebanon. He want these guys in prison. So they said many times, even Tripoli, a city in Lebanon, they wanted to Syria. That's why they say the whole Lebanon should belong to Syria, like it was the one area before. And this area is different from this area because it is fertile. This area like a desert here, This area is fertile, and the crescent is like that. It goes like that. So from here to here, all this area is fertile because of the Euphrates floods, and you have even Sinai. So Sinai also uh, is is seen in the Greater Israel map. That is on every Israeli soldier on their shoulder. They put it like they want to achieve that goal. So this guy is not picking a fight with Prime Minister Netanyahu. He is just he need to just balance the relation between Israel and the Turks. So he is some kind of a negotiator between the two. Even the Turks and Israelis, they have relation, and like they have been having a relation for a long time, and they have business together. But it is actually struggle about Syria border and Syria geography, the area, which area will be belonging to Israel, which area will belong to Turkey, because Syria, it is very hard to exist between the two major forces, Turkey and Israel. Like I said before, smaller countries will not be allowed to exist. uh, Bigger countries, powerful economy is very, very recommended for to survive what is coming, like change in the weather, climate change, call it whatever, but something is coming and they know about it. So they are trying to have like big empires, and yeah, so they're gonna divide. So when they had this positive meetings, green light, uh, a green light was sent from this guy Netanyahu to Turkey. They said to Turkey, I believe, send a message to Turkey. This is I'm just speculating here. This guy sent a message to Turkey, President Erdogan. So he said to him, I am happy with this meeting with this guy. Although they didn't meet in person, but they sent their delegations. I'm happy with this guy. I want, so he said to Turkey, President Erdogan. So President Erdogan, he said to this guy, we we are hearing that Prime Minister Netanyahu is satisfied with the meeting, and now you can go and kick some ass. Like I shouldn't say it. Like start something with the Kurds. You can start some clashes with the Kurds. Because the Kurds will not have their Kurdistan, because the Kurds, they feel like they are not Arabs. They want to have they have own language, although they are Sunni Muslims. And this guy is Sunni Muslim, but they don't fit in the Syrian Arabic republics. They want to get rid of them. But we have Americans been there fighting ISIS, so they have been like helping Kurds in their fight against ISIS. Who's ISIS? They don't like the Kurds. Even like I said, they are Sunni Muslim both, but they don't like them being non-Arabs. So even we have this with Turkey. Turkey and the Kurds, they don't have a lot of Kurds living in Turkey, but Turkish and Kurdish, like two different nationalities, they don't agree always. And there have been battles between Kurds and Turks and in Turkey and stuff like that, around Turkey and stuff like that. So the Kurdistan, big like Greater Kurdistan, it is the area here. We have like province in Iraq where Kurds are like they have some kind of autonomy. They're living here, and they're gonna like Turkey does not like the situation with the Kurds establishing some kind of autonomy. We have Americans helping Kurds to have some kind of identity different from the Arabs. They know they are not Arabs. Turkey, they don't like that one because a lot of Kurds living in Turkey, they don't want Kurds in Turkey to be demanding some kind of autonomy inside Turkey. So they want to remove these guys because these guys, they have weapons, the Kurds, I mean, here and even here, maybe. And we have Shia Muslim here and Sunni here. So in case we have fighting between the Sunni, this guy, and the Kurds here, maybe they're gonna get some Sunni from Iraq helping against the Kurds, and then we have fights between the Kurdistan in Iraq and the Sunnis. You know, the Shia is in southern Iraq, so it's rather complicated and very sensitive issue. So these guys are actually talking about the maps, and I believe this guy, he said to Erdogan, "I am satisfied with this guy for now. Go ahead and start something with the Kurds. Nobody gonna defend the Kurds. They are on their own, just like Lebanon, little Lebanon, lot of different religions, and we have biggest Christians living in Lebanon. So they're gonna get rid of them uh, because no country, no like bigger country will support them. They don't want to have Christians in the Holy Land. They want to divide between Turkey and Israel. So either you are with Israel or you are with Turkey. You cannot be some like and these minorities, they don't have anybody helping them, so they're gonna fight to survive. Everybody said they need to give up the weapons to the new government. They're gonna be slaughtered like the Alawites, like the Druze. So it is very sensitive and complicated. But like I said, they're gonna divide the area. We have here the Red Sea, also Somalia. It's here somewhere here. A province in Somalia, they declared independence from the origin Somalia. Somaliland is called, and the Israeli minister was today and visited there. And you see here the oil shipment from the Persian Gulf goes around here and goes up to Suez Canal and to the Mediterranean, further to Europe. So if Israelis are here, they're gonna put some pressure on Saudi Arabia. Like, you wanna get your ships out? Maybe not. You see. So these guys are in panic mode because they saw what happened in Venezuela, and in one shot, the country of Venezuela was cancelled, and the oil will be belonging to America. Like President Trump, he was talking, they're gonna give some China some, maybe not if they are if they are behaving or something, because they like they said like they betrayed their own government. We're not talking about it. They betrayed Maduro, President Maduro, own government. Somebody was talking about like that, and you know what happened? We saw Saddam Hussein in Iraq. He was like betrayed. He didn't fight when Americans went in. Like in Syria, former President Bashar al-Assad also was betrayed by Russia. Didn't fight. Escaped. Some people he was killed. Some people claim he was killed actually. So yeah, it is rather confusing. But so these guys, you see, President Trump is always happy when he's meeting this new president, Ahmad al Shara, former ISIS called al Julani. So, also this guy, Tom Barak, this guy, he threatened Lebanon if they're not gonna disarm the Shia Muslim group, Hezbollah. He threatened that this guy will enter Lebanon and gonna help Israel disarming the Shia Muslim group. who is friend with Iran. So even today, I'm hearing there's troops around Lebanon. See, they're gonna go in here around Lebanon from Syria around here, and you have Israel here bombing. Today they have bombed. They are bombing each day, every day. They're gonna take. They're gonna. Israel, they're not gonna sacrifice own soldiers. It will be hard defending here, Lebanon. A lot of fighters, in Hezbollah, they have been fighting with Israel for a long time. So they want to, these guys, a lot of from ISIS belonging to this guy, to enter at the same time when Israel is bombing. So they're gonna get their prisoners here, released from the Lebanese prisoners. These guys, Al Nusra, ISIS, they have killed Lebanese soldiers, and they're gonna take the Tripoli city because only Sunni Muslims living in the northern part of Lebanon, and they claim Lebanon belonging to Syria. So they are talking about slaughtering the Alawites in Lebanon. Like I've been reading today, they say it is time to go in and slaughter the Alawites in Lebanon. I don't know why YouTube is allowing such uh, threats. It is rather disgusting how they are trying to sending some kind of these kind of threat messages to regular people. Like we're gonna go in Lebanon, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this to the infidels, the Christians, the Druze, the Shia Muslims. We're gonna save only the Sunni Muslims in Lebanon, and we're gonna take the whole Lebanon. This is awful, actually, very awful. So I'm gonna tell you what happened today. They picked a fight with the Kurds, and I blame this guy. I blame this guy. He said send the signal to the Turkish. The Turkish said the signal to this guy. They got give him free hands. Do whatever. So my like for the Kurds, they have Americans. Okay, the Americans will not allow these guys to slaughter their friends, the Kurds. The Americans, the Kurds are friends. But if this guy he tells President Trump, like I'm happy with this guy. I'm happy with the President Erdogan. We are achieving something. They're gonna give up on the Kurds, of course, and they don't need the oil here. They got Venezuela now. Americans, I mean, this guy want the oil here in Saudi Arabia. This guy. And the Americans will not protect Saudi Arabia because they are taking out troops from Iraq. Because if they were to pick a fight with Iran, they would not have taken out troops. But they use the Iran boogeyman to spread fear in these guys. So Americans are here also to protect against Iran, but not against Israel. So Israel now uh, feel like we're gonna show some who's the boss here in the area around Saudi Arabia and the oil countries, very rich countries. Iran, if Israel is gonna hit Iran now, it will affect Turkey, and Turkey will affect this guy also, and he will not be able to achieve what he is trying to achieve. This with Lebanon and the minorities. So I don't believe Israel will hit Iran very soon. I don't believe that, or America. So this is my speculation. This is I don't really know. Maybe I don't know, but no, I don't believe Iran will be hit very soon. They want Lebanon out of the game very soon. So Lebanon more important than Iran. Taking out Lebanon is more important than taking out Iran. Uh, and yeah, so enough with this talk. Let's begin watching Spaceship working on here. So this is 31st. This is the last picture I showed you before. So yeah, five killed in Syria. This is 31st, the last day of last year, 4 p.m. You see Spaceship of King Anu here. So I've been talking 40 minutes politics, rather boring. You're not like you don't know this stuff. Be a lot of information at once. So I'm just showing, documenting this guy. I really know don't want to talk politics, very sensitive issues and stuff like that. Many they feel, oh, you didn't say that, you didn't say this. Maybe they feel hurt. We have a lot multiple here. This is UFO and this is UFO as well. This is a good one. We're gonna take this one. So we're gonna wipe out this dust here. So maybe if I do like that, so maybe it get better, but we gotta take this picture. So yeah, this is the last day, last year, 5 days ago. This is Spaceship of King Anu, the Most High. And I have a lot of theories for the word. Talked about the word Jew, Yahudi, and Semitic language, Yahud or Yahud, Semitic language. And I saw some connection to India, Sanskrit. They have a similar word. And even the Persian king who saved the Jews, he lived around 400 BC. And his connection to India, there's was an empire, it's called Kuru, around 400 BC. And they have the word Yahud and Yahudi. And so, and they have even the David star. So was it talking about David? Like it's called an area, Dawoodiya and Yahudiya, and like the origin of the word from the prophet Hud in the Holy Quran. So Hud and Yehud is actually, yeah, is the god for water in Ugarit. Ugarit was a civilization in talked about it before in Syria. It was a civilization where we have also a guy called Daniel, and this guy is actually the prophet Daniel in the Holy Bible. So see this one you have seen, and see this cloud here. So this spaceship of Keanu, this picture we might use. Why not? Because it's near the building and near the construction. So yeah, so it's not looking good for the Middle East, for the people living there, but the bigger countries, it is very, very like looking. But we're gonna divide the area. That's all. That's all. I'm gonna tell you that in the news. They're gonna divide the area between Turkey is NATO actually, and America cannot live without Turkey in NATO and stuff like that. Even Russia, they gave up on Syria, but they want Ukraine. They don't want to fight the Turks and the Israelis, because the Israelis and the Turks, they both claim like they want Syria. They want Syria. Talking about greater Syria, not minor Syria. Israelis, they believe the greater Israel is for them, and maybe President Erdogan, he wants the Ottoman Empire. So people are not taking notice what's going on really. They say, oh, the Kurds start clash with, I believe, is you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that that is not true. The one who started are the government forces. They are doing this, trying to pick fight each day. And the Kurds are defending themselves because they are like if they don't do that, they're gonna be slaughtered. So spaceship of King Anu, of course. See this picture? You're gonna take this picture. So I don't blame President Trump. He cannot know all this stuff. You're gonna divide the world between the major forces, the major countries, because what's coming, and we need to have a powerful economy. So yeah, this is spaceship of King Anu. In case you don't know that, you think this is a regular plane. Just wait until we see when it is like here, zigzag and stuff. So you see the difference because most people they don't see the difference between a regular airplane and the spaceship because they don't believe in spaceships. And of course, this is because of religion. Religion have affected a lot of people. They are not allowed to think about outside the box. They are not allowed to think. So religion is to control people because unless you check the sources of the so-called sky religion, and I always call sky religions like Holy Bible, Holy Quran, because they have the name of God inside of these books. Here it is, first day in the 2026. We have Spaceship of King Anu here. So they have the name of God Anu in Uranus in the Holy Quran and in the uh, Holy Bible. We talked about Marduk, I believe, in the previous video, and Marduk actually is Jupiter. Jupiter is Zeus. Zeus is Jupiter. Jupiter is Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh, Jehovah. This is Jupiter, and this is talking about Jupiter, son of Cronus, son of Uranus. So this is the grandson they are worshiping, and connection between the god Yahu or Yahweh and Lahu or Allahu, who is the god of Islam. It is actually one and the same. Here we have it, spaceship of King Anu, and here we have also here up. Please share and like so I can continue my journey. It is very hard for me to be talking about stuff nobody else is talking about it. Here we have spaceship of King Anu. You see some kind of colors. You're gonna take this picture, although it's tiny. So they're gonna go hit on the chords. This happened today will be repeating itself. They have gotten the green light. They're gonna get the free hands from Turkey. They're gonna be allowed to do whatever. Here is another picture spaceship. No, no. Also, Lebanon should be very afraid because they are gathering troops, the Syrian government, and they are threatening Lebanon. They are writing, we want to slaughter the Alawites. We have also Alawites in Lebanon. And they say a lot of people who belong to the former president Assad, they escaped to Lebanon. They want them back to put them in the prison, maybe kill them. We have taken this one. We're going to take it one more time. So maybe we avoid the reflection. So it's not looking good at all. This picture is very, very nice. We're going to take this picture. Here we have it here and here. We're going to wipe out the screen. So I don't know. We're going to take all the pictures I have. This one is good as well. See us. So yeah, we have earthquakes. I think Japan 6.5 yesterday. I'm not sure. You're gonna check this out. This is connected. This is connected to this one, and this is spaceship of Beyond also. So they need to have the cooperation between Israel and the new Syrian government to attack Lebanon from the northern border with Syria, eastern border with Syria, and from the south to get rid of the Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon. They're gonna be surrounded by uh, Syria and Israel. So there no way to escape. Only the Mediterranean Sea, and even the Mediterranean Sea, they're gonna get warships. Maybe Israeli warships gonna bomb the hell out of Hezbollah, and a lot of Lebanese civilians will be killed as well, as long as they don't disarm or give up their weapons. But they cannot give up their weapons because when they made the deal back in 2024, there was no ISIS ruling in Syria. I mean, the new government, it was the former president Assad. So now, when they saw what happened in Syria with the slaughter of the Alawite and the Druze and the clashes with the Kurds, the Shia Muslim are worried. If they give up the weapons, they're gonna be slaughtered as well. So it is not an easy choice actually. And the Lebanese government try to maintain a balance because they need to listen to Americans. Otherwise, yeah, they're gonna treat them bad. So they need to do what the Americans are saying. Otherwise, you're gonna feel very, very isolated. But of course, Americans will not defend the Lebanese people against ISIS. They are, with a lot of ISIS, Hamas, and all who participate in jihad. They are members in the new Syrian government. A lot of these guys are not Syrians actually, but jihadists. We have jihadists from China, Uyghur, minority Muslim Chinese in Syria, thousands. We have Africans who went to Syria to support jihad in Syria. We have black people in Syria, came from Africa, living in Syria now. And a lot of these guys, they got Syrian pass. They are like they have weapons, and they are free to do whatever because they are called the rebels, the free rebels. They were supported by a lot of countries. And like I said, Arab countries, they paid $125 billion to remove Assad, who was protecting the Christians in the Middle East. Because, yeah, nobody liked this guy. Only Russia, but the Russia, they gave up on him because they had to take care of Ukraine also. So it was a lot of pressure on Russia. They could not save him in power. But like I said, they are saying I'm not saying he was killed. I'm not saying that, but like yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. But not all people believe he is in Russia. Actually, they think they killed him and kept it quiet. Nobody knows. No one make a big deal about it. So, Spaceship of King Arno here. So yeah, so Russia also this with Venezuela. I don't know. I believe they agreed about this stuff. Before it happened, like Russia, they said, "Oh, we are surprised. We didn't know." Maybe they did know actually, but they don't talk. They don't say. Understand? They say, take Venezuela, we take Ukraine, like stuff like that. Take Syria, we're gonna take Ukraine and stuff like that. So this is a very nice picture. You see spaceship on stretching from here, going here. Very, very nice actually. I cannot take it here in one picture. I'm gonna take it, and most probably I'm gonna put it on the thumbnail. These parts here, all these parts are invisible. please like and share. I am doing this against all odds because nobody's believing in spaceships, especially because of the religion. Like I said, they're gonna talk about like pretending to believe in fictional deities because uh, they don't wanna like really do research. Understand, before the internet, before they had only the holy books like the Bible, and like a lot of books were burned, and a lot of knowledge went missing. And then they found the Sumerian tablets in Iraq, like for 100 years ago, and they read it and they saw, oh, this is the Bible actually, because the same stories but the different heroes. So some people ignore it, and they kept this religions like, oh, we're gonna these holy books, but a lot of people they went researching and they found the original of the holy books is from Sumerian stories. All stories in the Holy Bible and the Holy Quran originated in Sumeria. In the Sumerian tablets, we find all stories, including the Noah flood, including the Sodom and Gomorrah, the creation of humans, the Eve, Adam and Eve story, the serpent, all these stories, Sumerian stories. They're not gonna tell you. They need to control you, so they're not gonna tell you about this stuff. So religion is for control to make people be very, very eager to be fighting, and like always, oh, our God is the real God, your God is the devil, and stuff like that. Allah, Jehovah, thingy, actually the same, fighting, and this is religion fight. This is Tenerife, Spaceship of Keanu. This picture you see, this is in the day, in the middle of the day. Very nice picture indeed. You gotta take picture. And this is here another one, another picture. Also nice to take this picture. So almost 1 hour now. Here, another one. And I'm beginning to become tired. So 1st of January this year, Spaceship. I know I'm beginning to become tired in my hand. 1 hour is enough. Talking politics, what's going on in the world, Venezuela. We talked Syria, Israel. We talked Lebanon. Talked about the name of Syria and the connection to Christianity. We talked a lot stuff. All is connected. What's coming, the incoming, Planet X. All talked about this stuff before, and why some countries are doing like they are doing, and they don't wanna spoil the beans, like they say. They don't wanna say to you what will happen, what they expect, and everybody who is they have knowledge or about this stuff from the Sumeria about the planet X. Also mentioned in the Holy Bible as a morning star in the New Jerusalem. So even in the Quran, it's called the piercing star. Here is Spaceship of Anu. We're gonna do this one and we're gonna finish. See this one. And here. And here it goes up, up. So we have some problem with the reflection. So if I take this one out, you're gonna see better for a while, but then gonna be dark. And we don't like that one. We do like this instead, but we wipe out the screen. And of course, I am happy to be sharing these pictures with the whole world. For those who believe, they're gonna have a lot of nice time enjoying watching this stuff. But people who don't believe, they cannot enjoy themselves because they don't believe they are cannot understand or comprehend what is going on in the world or in our skies. This is connection, this to what's going on in the world, just like a cloud in the summer, and it will be gone. I mean, the wars and the bloodshed will not continue like that forever, and something will happen, and everything will stop. And the people who are caught in this bloodshedding, they're gonna be punished, and it's gonna be okay. Just trust the Most High Anu. This is a spaceship. See this stuff also. God of peace, God of love, God of happiness. You want to be happy, you need to believe in Anu. You can never be happy without God Anu, the Most High. It's not about money, it's not about power, it's not about enslavement. It's about to believe in Anu, God of happiness, the Most High, creator of all. All praise to Most High Anu, creator of life. He is everywhere, every second with us, and nobody can cut the relation between humans and their father Anu. We are all children of God Anu. Whether you like it or not, we are children of the Most High Anu, who created all things, all life. Spaceship of King Anu here, and we're gonna finish very soon. Hopefully you enjoy this one. This is another sighting. We cannot take this one for later on. Maybe we're gonna take this picture also, but I'm gonna wipe the screen. And this is 2nd of January. We're gonna save this one. We're gonna check the earthquakes. Record in Europe. A lot of flights are being cancelled. In Holland, in France, I believe they had some kind of technical problem in Greece for some days ago. Maybe because of the weather, but yeah, a lot of strange weather. This is Africa, I believe. I don't know. 5.4, Mauritius, Rodriguez Mauritius, and this is near okay, Guam. This is here. This is Indian Ocean. So yeah, 5.4. So 5.4 Indian Ocean. Kamastaka 4.8, 4.5. So yeah, it is. Yeah, we have a couple of earthquakes, but no big one. And so yeah, yeah. So that's all, people. Hopefully you enjoy this one. We have clashes in Syria. Very horrible. Very sad for the people killed in Syria. And this stuff will not stop unless we find solution where everybody in Syria get to live in peace and harmony together, respect for all different religions and ethnic racial groups. So everybody can be living in Syria like they did before for all these years, since 2000 years ago. Okay, since Jesus Christ was living in Greater Syria or Greater Israel or the fer- um, Fertile Crescent. Blessings